So, in today's video, I would like to discuss the events that took place in the last video whereby me and Nick were photographing Corona Arch and a big group of people came and got right in our shot, and a lot of the comments on YouTube suggested that I should have gone and asked them to move. So I want to talk about why I didn't ask them to move. I also want to talk about this. So you eagle-eyed viewers will have noticed that I switched up tripods in my last video. This is a new tripod and I'm going to talk all about that. But going back to what happened in my last video. You have to laugh. You have to laugh. I think the moment's gone. I say the moment, I think it's getting quite dark now and I still can't get this shot. You see, there's this type of photographer that I can't stand. The type of photographer who thinks that their image is more important than everybody else's image. The type of photographer who has no respect or care for the environment that they're shooting. They have the best gear, the biggest tripods, and an even bigger ego, and they believe that they own the landscape around them. This is the type of photographer who would photograph a beautiful cluster of bluebells only to trample over them so that another photographer can't get the same shot, and that is a true story. They're often opinionated on social media and, I'm generalizing here, but they probably drive an oversized car, and if you're not driving fast enough, they will let you know about it. I actually encounter this type of photographer less and less these days, but years ago I always used to see them in the field, and I was always, their actions were so cringeworthy, this sense of ownership and this sense of entitlement that comes with the spread of their tripod, and God forbid anybody else should walk in front of their shot, or even another photographer should turn up. And this whole egotistical attitude made me embarrassed to walk around with my tripod in case people thought that I was like that. And you try and talk to these people and it was always about gear. Gear, gear, gear. And God forbid if you turned up with an entry-level camera, you were not considered a photographer at all. So when I go out to photograph the landscape and I set up my tripod and set up my camera, I'm always very, very conscious of the environment around me, but not only that, I'm conscious of the people around me too. And as I mentioned in my last video, I have no more right to be there than anybody else. So what right do I have to expect them to move so I can take my photograph? What I'll usually do is wait patiently and wait for them to move on and then grab my shot, or I will photograph them and clone them out. On this occasion at Corona Arch I couldn't do that, they were placed very awkwardly. And on occasion as well I will ask them to move, like in Hawaii, but I asked them to move because they shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Oh, we're blocking you?
Well, yeah, but it's not just you, it's everyone who's gone on this side of the rope is blocking everyone else's view.
Don't get me wrong, I would love to have every single location all to myself, and when I see a group of people turning up and, ruining the peace and quiet, it does make me sad, and it does make me think, I wish they weren't there, of course. But that doesn't change anything. They still have the right to be there, and I will just accept it and carry on with what I'm doing. So I guess what it boils down to, and the reason that I didn't ask those group of people to move, is that because I felt that why should they have to move just because I want to get a photograph? And you actually think about it, it's incredibly selfish of me shooting at 16mm or whatever it was. 16mm covers a large area. So, I'm expecting to get that whole area clear to myself. So I just rather wait patiently for them to move, and I'm fairly shy and don't want to go and ask people to move because I just worry that I'll look like this entitled photographer. But actually what Nick Page did was go and very politely ask them to move, and they were very nice, and that actually taught me something. So maybe in the future I will ask people to move, but I never will ever feel like they should move and that it's my landscape. So I hope that kind of explains why I wasn't going to ask them to move. Okay, now on to the good stuff. Got myself a new tripod to replace my old tripod, this one. So let me explain a little bit about what happened. Right, So this is my Manfrotto 05 something carbon tripod. I don't know, I'll put it on the screen here. I've had this tripod for years. In fact, I can't even remember when I got this tripod. It's been a very, very long time. And I have treated it quite poorly. You can see where all of the screws and bolts are, that it's completely caked in salt crustaceans or corrosion. And what finally did it for me and put this tripod out of commission was this. You can see here we have the clamp that shuts down the leg. If I close that, yeah, you can see all of the dust coming off. So that doesn't lock, and the screws are so badly corroded that I can't tighten them. So I am going to try and fix it, but this problem only happened recently, and I was going to Utah and needed a tripod. So I took with me a spare tripod that I had, an Ultra Pro, and I wasn't happy with it at all. It was having problems, it was incredibly shaky and wobbly. So when I was at the Out of Moab Landscape Photography Conference, they have like a few stalls and there's a few vendors selling some photography gear there. And I happened to walk past and saw this tripod. And it was a complete impulse buy. I literally walked up, picked it up and thought, yeah, that's not too heavy and it's nice and big. So I bought it. I purchased it there and then. I got it from Hunt's Photo and Video. Very, very, very nice guys. If you're in the States and you want to buy camera gear, definitely recommend buying from Hunt's, because I met the owner and he was just a really, really nice guy. That's Gary. And I paid $420 for this tripod, which I think was a bit of a bargain, because I'm pretty sure it retails at about, I don't know, 600 or something. So it's always good to buy at these conferences and trade shows and stuff. The tripod is an Induro. I don't even know what tripod it is. It's an Induro Stealth GIT304L. Yeah, it is a bit of a GIT, and I've got some statistics. Did some weighing and measuring. So, in terms of weight, right, because I like things to be lightweight, as lightweight as possible. This tripod, the old one without a head, is 1.6 kilograms. This new tripod, 2.1 kilograms, so it's 500 grams heavier. However, it is a lot bigger. Fully extended, this tripod here, and that's not the center column, that's center column down, is 140 centimeters. Whereas this one fully extended is 147 centimeters. It compacts down to 54 centimeters, and this one compacts down 65 centimeters. So it's compacted, it's shorter. It has this super, super wide collar neck area, which gives it insane stability. And then if I want to, which I can't see, I can't imagine I ever will, but if I want to, I can pop this out, and I don't know, I think you can put all kinds of different heads and stuff. So if I'm ever doing wildlife photography, I can pop that out and I can drop in a gimbal or something like that. Right, what else can I say about this tripod? It's ridiculously sturdy, and because there's no center column, I can pretty much put this tripod flat to the floor, spread out all three legs, and I'll be able to shoot at ground level, so that's quite nice. Has a massive, massive hook on it there. So, in super windy conditions, I can hang something off there or tether it down to the ground. Yeah, Induro, I've never heard of Induro as a brand, but that's because I'm not really in the loop. But it comes with a 10-year warranty, so I thought it's got to be good. Now, one thing that I don't or didn't like about this tripod, and it's not just this tripod, it's all tripods, I don't like twisty locks here. I don't like these. But these ones are really big and chunky, right? Which is great, so fantastic. But the problem I was having is when I was twisting and unlocking, by twisting each of these, I accidentally twisted this, which is the foot of the tripod. So you can see here that it's incredibly close, and then I twist it, and then basically I have a loose foot, and it's only a matter of time until that drops off. not necessarily a design flaw, I suppose, more just me being careless. However, the tripod does come with these little spikes, which is great. That's one thing I could never really get for that Manfrotto tripod, was spikes. And then I put these on, comes with a little spanner, I tighten them up, oh, there we go. And now that is no longer a problem. The great thing about having spikes for landscape photography is when you're shooting on kind of like boggy, muddy ground, or sometimes your tripod is in heather or bracken or something like that and it's a bit bouncy, you can really push your tripod down and it will dig into the ground and be much more stable. It's also great for shooting on the beach as well, and ice and various other surfaces. They just give you excellent stability and grip. So yeah, spikes all around, fantastic. It comes with these little spongy wrap things, quite nice. It means that when you carry it on your shoulder, it's a bit more comfortable, which is good, and they also look pretty cool. But yeah, that's the tripod. I purchased it as a complete impulse buy. I was speaking to my friend Nathan, and he couldn't believe that I walked past a stand, picked up a tripod and bought it without doing any research at all. But sometimes all you need to do is hold something in your hands and you can feel the quality. And yeah, this was it. This was super high quality, and I'm very, very happy with it. And I always think that having a good tripod is invaluable. I know that from my recent trips to the Alps when I was using my little Benro travel tripod in an attempt to save weight. I certainly paid the price for that. It just was not sturdy at all, whereas this thing is as steady as a rock. It's fantastic. I also need to say that this isn't sponsored by Induro. I don't know who Induro are, I've never heard of them. And here is my receipt for the purchase of this tripod. So all the cynics out there can get off their keyboards and stop accusing me of being a sellout money whore. So what I'll do is I'll stick a link to this tripod down below. If you're in the market for a tripod and you want something beefy and not too heavy, then this is very good. I've used it now solidly for about 2 weeks. It's been on an aeroplane. It's been from one side of the world to the other, and I have to say, yeah, pretty very, very happy with it. That's it. I don't really have any more to say in this video, so I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching, and join me next time as I shoot, or try to shoot, in Arches National Park. Alright, until next time, bye for now.